microphone, guys. Yep. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular session of Council for the Municipality of Bayham. It is Thursday, December the 4th, 2025, 7 p.m., and I will call this meeting to order. Remind members of any disclosures of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Seeing none noted. Section 3, review of items not listed on the agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One item for closed session, confidential item, labor relations, employee negotiations, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, CUPE.
Thank you. Moving on with section 4, announcements from council members this evening. Does anyone have any announcements? Councilor Chilcott.
Thank you very much. Just wanted to remind everyone that December 6th on Saturday is the Port Burwell Parade. It's an evening parade. Starts at 6 p.m. and there will be refreshments afterwards. I'm not quite sure where.
I believe it's the Marine Museum.
The Marine Museum.
Yeah, in the boathouse thing there.
Oh, okay.
The wheelhouse.
Wheelhouse,
Oh, that'd be
sorry,
nice.
couldn't think the word.
And then December 13th is the Strathmore Parade and it starts at 10:30. And there will be refreshments at the fire hall. It has a new route this year. Starts at the fire hall and ends at the fire hall.
Oh,
Okay, all right, thank you. So lineup for this Saturday night is by 5:30
Mm.
at the Legion in Port Burwell.
For those participating.
Of course. And hopefully council can be there. Anything else from council members? Right, seeing none, let's move on then with section 5, presentations. This evening, we have Maggie Broda regarding brushstrokes for change. Megan? Could you bring up Ms. Broda, please?
shooting. And trying to get my video.
Can you undo her video?
I'm trying to get that going. There we
There
go.
we are.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to hold this up for just a second and let you see what's going on here. Yes, thank you for your time. It's a pleasure to be able to speak to you about something that you already know so much about. But my point is trying to let the rest of the world know about it, particularly all across Canada. So again, thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of your time. So this was recently the biography, and I believe it's the first official biography of Mary Ella Dignam. So as I mentioned, I know that you all know and are well aware of her, but she's been a cultural leader that many, many people across the country do not know about. Born in 1857, right in your Port Burwell, she went on to shape the direction of Canadian art in some very, very important ways. She founded the Women's Art Association of Canada, which gave women an opportunity to exhibit their work, which was a very rare thing at that time. She championed Canadian art long before anyone did, and she secured a place for Canadian women. And all of that began right in your community. So celebrating her story gives Port Burwell a chance to highlight all of your hometown hero, as you already do, but this will actually spread a little bit more of the word. I'm hoping that it'll offer you a little addition to your tourism economy. It is such a meaningful story, and we have also 95 pages of her life, and then on the back, it features the work of 36 contemporary Canadian artists that have helped bring her story to life. I'm hoping that once I'm able to recover my publishing cost, I'll be able to set up a scholarship fund for a student at OCAD University, because that's where Mariella Dignam did take some of her training. And it feels like a fitting thing, a fitting way to be able to commemorate and support the legacy of Mariella Dignam. And I'm sure you've got lots of ways, but some of the things that come to mind that you could help me let the legacy of this book be available in your library, your visitor center. I know that you have lots of heritage and tourism areas. Perhaps you have a website for your town that you could share some of this information that the book is available. That would be really helpful. I'm sure there's simple steps that you would probably already have incorporated, but now that I have hard copy and a soft copy of this book, the other thing that I want to mention is I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not, but we have recently had a movie created. It's a documentary movie by Ingrid Hamilton, who is currently the Vice President of the Women's Art Association of Canada. The title of the movie is A Group of Her Own, and it is focused on Mariella Dignam and her legacy at the Women's Art Association. This movie is going to be entered into the Hot Docs competition in Toronto. I think that's sometime in the spring. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll get a lot of acknowledgement, because it's been done by some very, very talented filmmakers. And, you know, I think it's just great to have this opportunity to share the culture. And I really appreciate your time. I know you've got other things on your agenda, but thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity to share this book with everyone. It's available, books.Friesen Press. Friesen Press is the publisher, and they have it. It's available online. It'll be on Amazon. It'll be pretty much available wherever you like eventually. Right at the moment, it's still in publication, so I expect to have 100 copies that I've bought, and I've already pre-sold. They're coming to me within the next week, but it is available online on books.Friesen Press right at the moment. So I know you've got things to do, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to stay around for a bit and chat. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Broda, for the presentation and bringing that to our attention. And you answered the question that I had, was where could we obtain a copy of that?
Okay.
I would be interested in, again, referring this to the Director of Culture and I don't even know what Michelle's title is.
Excellent.
Community
Thank
culture,
you.
but anyway, it's the one who's in charge of our libraries across Elgin County, and bring it to his attention, and perhaps that is a way to get it into circulation within Elgin.
Perfect.
So I do appreciate that. You mentioned that it will be available on Amazon eventually, but it's through books.Friesen Press.
Friesen Press, yes.
Okay.
Yes, a Canadian publishing company stationed out in British Columbia, and they've been very, very good to deal with. So I'm looking forward to possibly a volume 2, because quite honestly, the number of the 36 artists, and each of them are featured on the back, they are so excited to be in this, and now the word has spread. My criteria to be in the book was, if you have shown your art in the Dignam Gallery, which is in Toronto at 23 Prince Arthur Avenue in the Yorkville district, if you've ever shown your work there since the year 2000, then you are welcome to be included in the book. And about 70 people came forward, but I had a deadline, so I wasn't able to get all 70 in. So if we do an edition 2, there will be a lot more artists interested. And it's because of her brilliance and her dedication, and being really stepping outside the box to make art available to everyone. And of course now we're part of the Pride Week at the end of June. The gallery is completely inclusive, so it's huge. It's wonderful. So thank you. Thanks for your time. And looking forward to, I might get back to you about the movie when it comes out. If we do win the award at Hot Docs and it might be in TIFF, it'll be interesting and exciting to have that to share.
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thank you. Enjoy the holidays, peace, and good health to all.
Thank you very much for
Good
that.
night. Thank you.
Night. Okay, I have a motion that reads that the presentation from Maggie Broda regarding brush strokes for change be received for information. Moved by Councillor Chilcott, seconded by Deputy Mayor Weisler. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. We have no delegations this evening, but we do have some minutes. We have the minutes of the previous meeting of council held November the 20th, 2025, and the statutory planning meeting held November the 20th, 2025. Everyone's had opportunity to peruse those minutes. Any errors or omissions? Then I would entertain a mover and seconder for the following, that the minutes from the regular meeting of council held November the 20th, 2025, and the minutes of the statutory planning meeting held November the 20th, 2025 be approved as presented. Councillor Emerson will move. Councillor Chilcott will second. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Moving down to section 12, Development Services, Sustainability and Conservation. 12.1 correspondence and 12.1.1 to receive for information, 3 items. Item A is a notice of decision regarding minor variance application COA 0625 Dan Froze Farms, Inc. Item B, notice of decision regarding zoning bylaw amendment ZBA 2225 Weber. And item C, notice of public meeting regarding minor variance application COA 0825 Banman. Anyone have any questions? The motion will read that items 12.1.1A through C be received for information. Mover and seconder, please. Deputy Mayor Weisler, Councillor Chilcott, all in favor? Carried. 12.1.2, requiring action. 12.2, we report DS 5125 by Margaret Underhill, Planning Coordinator, Deputy Clerk, regarding zoning bylaw amendment ZBA 2325 Heritage Grown Inc. at 57238 Light Line. Thomas, you're pinch hitting tonight.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I will cover this application for the planning coordinator. So this application comes in from Agent Jesse Froze, a zoning bylaw amendment on behalf of Heritage Grown Inc. at 57238 Light Line. The intent is to create a residential lot containing an existing surplus, a dwelling surplus that needs the farm operation. The lands are currently designated agricultural. Lands are currently zoned A1A in the municipality's current zoning bylaw. Purpose of the bylaw amendment is to rezone 2 portions of the subject lands because of a surplus farm dwelling severance. Proposed severed lot is to be rezoned from agricultural A11 to a site-specific rural residential RR55 zone, which requires relief from the following 3 provisions. Section 7.3 to permit a minimum lot area of 0.26 hectares, where 0.4 hectares is the minimum. Section 7.4 to permit a minimum lot frontage of 34.5 meters, whereas 50 meters is the minimum. And section 7.10 to permit a minimum rear yard depth of 5.5 meters, whereas 15 meters is the minimum. The proposed retained lot is to be rezoned to a site-specific special agricultural A2-22 zone to prohibit new dwellings and requires relief from the following provision, being section 6.9 to permit a minimum side yard width of 7.7 meters, where 10 meters is the minimum. The effect of this bylaw will be to recognize the residential nature of the newly created residential lot and to prohibit new dwellings on the retained farm parcel in accordance with the official plan. As part of clearing the consent conditions for Elgin Land Division Committee File Number E2425. The public meeting was held on November 20th with no public attendees. No public comments have been received. Agency comments were received from the Long Point Region Conservation Authority, noting no concerns with the application. Planner's memorandum was considered by council when the consent was considered in June of 2025. Staff and planner concur that the rezoning application meets the policies and recommend approval to change the zone on the severed portion to a site-specific RR 55 zone. Bylaw number Z 819/2025 is presented for your consideration.
All right, Thomas, thank you very much for that report and summary. Does anyone have any questions?
And just to quickly clarify that the zoning change also applies to the retained lands as well for the special agricultural A2 22 zone.
All right, thank you again for that. Would note that within the report, it suggests that the outbuildings, which wouldn't meet MDS, but they are not subject to housing livestock. I do recognize it's an undersized parcel, but that should have been dealt with at the consent stage. Any other concerns from anyone? In the report, you also mentioned, or excuse me, Margaret mentioned that there will be need for either a easement agreement for the driveway or a new driveway access for retained lands. Just noting things that are out there. Anything else that council may wish to speak about? Okay. We have a motion then before us that reads report DS 5125 regarding Heritage Grown Inc. rezoning application ZBA 2325 be received for information. And that pursuant to Planning Act Regulations Bill 73 Smart Growth for Our Communities Act 2015. It be pointed out that at the public participation meeting held November the 20th, 2025 associated with this application, there were no oral presentations and no written public submissions regarding this matter, and that all considerations were taken into account in council's decision passing this resolution. And that zoning bylaw number Z 456/2003 as amended be further amended by changing the zoning on the subject property located in South Part Lot 25 Concession 4, municipally identified as 57234 Light Line, as a condition of a surplus farm dwelling severance from agricultural A11 zone, the site-specific rural residential RR 55 zone on the severed lot requiring relief from the following provisions. Section 7.3, to permit a minimum lot area of 0.26 hectares, whereas 0.4 hectares is required. Section 7.4, to permit a minimum lot frontage of 34.5 meters, whereas 50 meters is required. And Section 7.10, to permit a minimum rear yard depth of 5.5 meters, whereas 15 meters is required. And changing the zoning from agricultural A11 to site-specific agricultural A2-22 on a retained lot to prohibit new dwellings and requiring relief from the following provision. Section 6.9, to permit a minimum side yard width of 7.7 meters, whereas 10 meters is required. And that zoning bylaw number Z 819/2025 be presented to council for enactment. Do I have a mover and a seconder for that? Councillor Emerson will move. Councillor Chilcott will second. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Moving on with section 13, Finance Administration, 13.1, Correspondence, and 13.11 to receive for information. Item A, Town of Kingsville regarding opposition to the proposed consolidation of conservation authorities. Item B, City of Brantford regarding Professional Activity Day on Municipal Election Day. Item C, Association of Ontario Road Supervisors regarding the Fall 2025 newsletter. Item D, Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing regarding Bill 60. Item E, Watson Associated Economists regarding Water and Wastewater Public Corporations Act 2025. F, Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing regarding Bill 17. And G, Ministry of Emergency Preparedness and Response regarding the FPT meeting on emergency management. Does anyone have any item they wish to draw attention to or speak to? Deputy Mayor.
Yes, thank you through you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple I would like to see supported. The first one, Kingsville, regarding the conservation authorities. I think that's going to be a very large debate coming up, and there's some significant concerns about that one. And also the city of Brantford, their professional development day for municipal election. I think that's quick. I find that very fascinating, and I think it's a great idea. So I would like to see us support both of those. And I do have a couple of comments about the report. Just want to make sure I'm on the right one, 13.1.1D. So from regarding Bill 60. I had a couple of questions or comments, or maybe just if Thomas could weigh in. I just wanted to, specifically under the development charges piece, I find it interesting that the whole report is to fight delays, build faster. However, now they're asking that we go one step further and establish local service policies with bylaws. And I'm just wondering where we are at with that, and if you think we'll see, is that going to be a huge impact to what we're already doing in regards to development charges? And then there is a section in this report where it's asking for feedback. I'm just curious if we are planning on submitting something on behalf of the municipality of Bayham for feedback, because there is a treasurer piece too that I'm very interested in. But it's such a big report to unpack, so I would be interested to see if we're looking at massive timeline delays when it comes to establishing some of these policies.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. Good questions. I will start that by saying that given that we are in the middle of budget season, the treasurer and I haven't had an opportunity to fulsomely review the local service policy component of this. We have gone through more so for item E, which is the Water Wastewater Public Corporations Act, and that's something that has garnered, I'll say, far more interest at the local and at the regional level. We would have to dive more into what subsection 59 of the proposed legislation entails for local service policies, and then come back to council with more information. If that's something that council is ultimately interested in, we'd have to probably confer with some of our outside consultants on whether there be impacts in that regard.
Thomas, if I'm looking at part of the comment accepting period, and this is on the DC Development Charges Act 97 from October 23rd to November 22nd this year. If that's the case, we might have missed that opportunity. But I would certainly appreciate the staff giving a little more fulsome review of this particular correspondence, and we need to identify those potential risks to the municipality going forward. So if you wouldn't mind, please. Perhaps I should bring that better. Please do so.
Okay. Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, just a quick supplementary comment if I could. I just find it, the exercise that our municipality went through to establish development charges.
Yes.
And to get them in, then for the province to come back and make us walk back on some of those development charges when they know how important those changes are, or those development charges are, for us to do these services in a cost-effective way and provide that extra level of service to the community. Now we're walking back what we're charging, and now they're establishing even further regulation on it. I just find it really, it's just kind of a disappointing report, because I was like, oh my goodness, we just did all the work to get this in place, and now here we are again. So anyway, we're gonna have these conversations, I'm pretty sure at Roma, especially when we're lobbying on behalf of our municipalities with the province. So I look forward to having those conversations, with other municipalities that are similar size to ours. And here we are with some of these challenges coming forward. These reports and asking us to put these policies in place, they're expensive. They cost our municipality time and money. And then every time we turn around, they're changing the regulation and bringing something under this umbrella that it's going to make things faster when actually it delays the process even more. So anyway, those are just a couple of my comments, but to walk back, I would like to see 1311A supported and 1311B supported.
All right, thank you for that. Yes, Thomas, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a final question, comment to what the deputy mayor was mentioning, that this isn't just something that is, coming to the fore here in Bayham and is, bringing concern to the council horseshoe. I sit on the Policy and Government Relations Committee for AMCTO. We had a meeting in November, and Bill 60 was a significant part of the discussion, and there's a lot of concern about the rampant changes that are coming with not only standalone pieces of legislation like Bill 17, but these omnibus bills that are coming out like Bill 60. It is a significant amount to digest for smaller municipalities that may not have the capacity to pivot and to, analyze the legislation internally and react quickly to it. And legislation like this, that under the guise of speeding up housing, is, essentially taking away mechanisms for the municipality to govern its own internal development and revenue generation, which is obviously a concern, and it should be to council and to residents alike. I'll leave it at that.
Well, thank you for your comments there. I would agree. And if you examine the past few years with this particular government, this seems to be the modus operandi. There's been a lot of change, and the pace of change has made it extremely difficult to keep up with. And this is one more piece that's coming down through the system. And it's not the only one. There are several changes. And whether it's to keep us busy and to obfuscate the real goal at the end of the day, I'm not sure. And I don't wish to spread conspiracy or think that way. But there is a tremendous amount of activity at the provincial level, and it's awfully damn hard for smaller municipalities to keep track of and move forward. So I thank you for both of you for your comments. With respect to item A, and that is the one dealing with the opposition to the changes to the amalgamation of conservation authorities, I will share that Long Point last night met. This was on the agenda. There have been several local CAs within our region who have already voiced opposition, and others across Ontario. There has only been one jurisdiction, I understand, in Windsor. The city of Windsor actually outright said absolutely not, which is very bold. But the rest have advised, slow it down, give us a chance, consult with us, please. And perhaps it's not a great idea to amalgamate the Lake Erie shoreline all into one particular conservation authority. So there is a briefing that Thomas and I will attend next Friday. There was a resolution passed at Long Point last night. I assume it will be shared with the municipality, hopefully on the next agenda, and so that we can actually get behind that one. But I do encourage the council to support item A as it is tonight. Before I move on, I do want to talk about the Watson Associates piece. Does anyone want to talk about what's already been or have any comments on what's been described already? Everybody okay? On board with it? Okay. Item E then, the Watson Associates regarding the Water and Wastewater Public Corporations Act. Thomas and I had a brief conversation about it yesterday, and I believe my exact words to him were something along like, wow, here's another one. This is not a municipal service corporation, but it's a municipal service corporation maybe. And the part that really bothers me is that development charges are not eligible inside this particular. It could be a share distributing corporation, but it's really wild, and it's not clear to me who owns these things. But if the idea is to absolve the municipality of water, wastewater responsibilities and transfer it to a particular third-party corporation, then it has a lot of impact on the municipality as well. For example, from an asset management point of view, well, it takes that away and we aren't responsible for it. But the fees that we get from a
Right.
water, wastewater no longer contribute towards debt carrying capacity. So it reduces your overall capability of carrying debt
We
forward.
have no, through you, Mr. Mayor, if I may, we also have no control over those rates and fees.
That could be the next piece. Absolutely. So there's a lot of unknown out there. So again, it's another piece that's in the air, and whether it's to keep you guessing about where are we heading? Is it to absolve some of the asset management responsibility from the municipalities? I'm not sure what the ultimate goal is. But I do hope that Watsons keep providing us with this information moving forward. Hopefully we can figure this out. Otherwise, as we are transitioning, with our own water, wastewater system, perhaps you're going to find that it's all going to be privatized in the end. I don't know. Thomas, wish to offer further comment?
Just a
Please.
couple of comments out of the Watsons piece that are interesting and concerning in some ways. So the first one is essentially the definition that they've put into place regarding under the Municipal Act for sewage, and that stormwater could be captured here too. So the legislation isn't clear about whether this is water wastewater or water wastewater stormwater and is inclusive of water systems. And what we're seeing at the municipal level is stormwater is starting to increase in importance when it comes to environmental compliance. Eventually, you may end up seeing stormwater considered the same way that wastewater is considered, which puts an increased burden on smaller municipalities that are already struggling to address some of the changes around stormwater. Increasing or taking all of this and moving it to a municipal service corporation would absolve the municipality of having to deal with that. However, if it's a regional municipal service corporation that includes a number of municipalities, then BAM to a certain degree may lose control of its infrastructure, lose control of the rates. And one of the parts that's concerning about this is if we talk about the Elgin area primary and the costs associated with that, BAM residents buy their water from the secondary, which buys the water from the primary, and the primary is getting hit with the costs. Most of the benefit of those costs, realistically, is going to St. Thomas. Some of the municipalities in the middle of the county, we will see decreased benefit out here in BAM. But if we have a corporation in place overseeing regional water, wastewater, we may be in a position where we're eating the rate increase without the benefit. And that is a concern at the local level. And the other concern here, and it's in the name because the name is public corporations, but the legislation does outline that in accordance with regulations, which aren't public yet, these corporations can issue shares and dividends. Well, that sounds to me like a certain degree of privatization. And if private individuals and private companies can buy shares in a public corporation, it is no longer public, and now you're looking at a public-private partnership. Again, we consider St. Thomas. Bigger corporations like the ones coming into St. Thomas start buying shares in a regional corporation. Now, is this really a public corporation? And that's concerning. A lot of this legislation seems like it's coming too quickly to really be well thought out. And I think there's going to be significant unintended consequences that come from this, and we need to watch it very closely.
No, thank you for those comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
It is. It's the pace and it's the unknowns.
Yeah.
And the only thing I would ask is please slow it down.
Mhm.
I don't think you're going to get houses built any faster by ramming this stuff through in a hurried fashion, unless it's well thought out. So anyway, that's just my own personal belief, not necessarily the belief of this council. All right. Any other piece anyone wants to talk about? Okay, so let's stay tuned and let's keep receiving that stuff from Watson Associates. We'll look for a piece from Long Point coming forward. Megan, have you been able to capture those two pieces that council may wish to support?
Yes, Your Worship, and I just wanted to confirm if you want formal direction for staff to bring back further information on item D.
Yes, please.
Okay. So we have that items 1311A through G be received for information, and that council for the municipality of Bayham supports items A and B, and that staff be directed to present further information regarding item D.
Okay, Deputy Mayor Weiser?
Move.
Okay. Counselor Chilcott, you'll second? Thank you. All in favor? None opposed?
I'd kind of been in support of the conservation. I'm not in support of that letter.
Okay.
Mm.
All right then. Could have moved to separate it out. Fair enough. Did you vote in the affirmative? Thank you. It's carried. 1312, requiring action. The Long Point Region Conservation Authority regarding the 2026 draft budget. It's in the package. It is a fairly long document. I think the cover page says it all. You're looking at approximately a 0% increase on the municipal levy. Thomas, you've got additional comments that you ferreted out. It might be a slight change for Bayham.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor. Don't know what page of the attachment it actually is, but there's one that shows year over year since 2022 for a number of the municipalities. Year over year, 25 to 26 for Bayham. Combined levy looks like 0.68%. So that has already been incorporated into the draft operating budget.
There it is. It's page 108 of the agenda.
Mm.
All right. It's right there, 0.68. $725 overall. Deputy Mayor, you've got a lot more experience around the budget. You thrust me right into the heat of things. But overall, I would suggest that with this particular authority, 32% of the revenue requirements is on the municipal levy. The rest of it's user fees, camping fees, forestry fees. I think in comparison across the province, they do a pretty good job of maintaining a lower impact from a revenue requirement onto the municipality. I'm not sure what a larger regional CA would look like and how that revenue requirement would be distributed or allocated. Just my thoughts. Any other concerns or questions regarding the budget for Long Point?
If I may, Mr. Mayor?
There you are, Councillor Froese. Hopefully you were there.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Please.
through you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to reject the budget. Tell them to come back at 0 or less.
Well, thank you for that, Councillor Froese. How would you like to put that into a motion?
I would. Yes, please.
Okay, the correspondence is just to be received for information. I assume they're looking for a comment period from us tonight.
Mr. Mayor, yes, there is a comment period. I believe we can submit comments up until the 19th, if I recall. So if council wants to provide comment back to reduce the municipal levy on Bayham, then we can communicate that back to the Conservation Authority.
Okay. Councillor Froese, if I understand, you have a motion out there to reject the budget.
Yes,
and
sir.
Request 0% increase.
0 or less. Yes.
Well, in mathematics, it can happen, but is there anyone
Yeah.
who wants to second that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay. Discussion on that motion. All right, hearing none. Do you have it worded better than I?
That the correspondence from the Long Point Region Conservation Authority regarding the 2026 draft budget be received for information, and that the municipality of Bayham requests a 0% increase.
Does that capture what you're looking for, Councillor Froze?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you concurred? All right. All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Huh. Opposed? Well, it is carried. Due process, it's carried. I'll reserve comment. Moving on. 13.2, reports to council. Report CL 0825 by Megan Elliott, clerk, regarding the 2026 rates and fees. Megan?
Thank you, Your Worship. Through you to council. We review our rates and fees bylaw annually to identify items to be increased by CPI, include previously approved items, and present new items for consideration. The document attached to the report highlights the items to be increased by CPI in blue, the previously approved items in yellow, and the new items in green. So the two previously approved items are the garbage tags. Those will be going up to $250 January 1st, and the beach parking fees. There are three new items being proposed. There is a telecommunication road consent fee that will be for companies who approach us for installing fiber, and the fee would be tied to an application, and the County of Elgin has a similar system and fee for that. There is a proposed formal additional residential unit signs fee to provide proper addressing for the implemented ARUs. You'll see where it's included on the attachment that I believe it's similar to where there's regular addressing sign for a new property, but then just formally adding it for an ARU. And then we are proposing a storm private drain connection fee, which is to be applied to newly developed lots that require a private drain connection. So again, the attachment has the items that are changing highlighted and showing the sections where it'll show up in the proposed bylaw that will be presented next meeting. So I'll leave it with you.
All right, thank you for that, Megan. Comments, questions? All right, I'm hearing none. The motion reads that report CL 0825 regarding the 2026 rates and fees be received for information, and that the noted changes and additions be approved effective January the 1st, 2026, and that the bylaw be presented for enactment at the December 18th, 2025 regular council meeting. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Weisler. Seconded by Councillor Emerson. All in favor? Not hearing anything in the negative, Councillor Froze. I assume that's in the affirmative.
Yes, sir.
Okay, carried. Section 14, bylaws. Bylaw number Z 819-2025, being a bylaw to amend Z 456-2003 Heritage Grown Inc. Mover and seconder for the following, that bylaw number Z 819-2025 be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Moved by Deputy Mayor Weisler, seconded by Councillor Chilcott. All in favor? Carried. Moving on with section 16, item A, draft minutes of the November 18th, 2025 Joint Cemetery Board meeting. Everyone's had opportunity to peruse them. They are draft, I will say. So let's have a mover and seconder that the draft minutes of November the 18th, 2025 Joint Cemetery Board meeting be received for information. Moved by Deputy Mayor Weisler.
I will second.
Moved by Councillor Froze. Does anyone have any discussion on these minutes, or are you okay? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? That's carried.
Aye.
Perfect. 16.1, we will be moving in camera. So we have a motion that council do now rise to enter into an in-camera session at 7:45 PM to discuss a confidential item regarding labor relations, employee negotiations, staffing, confidential item regarding labor relations, employee negotiations, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. QP? That's it, right? Mover and seconder, please. Deputy Mayor Weisler, Councillor Emerson, all in favor? That is carried. Perfect. We are now moving in camera. We're gonna